Um, this fucking this Titanfall game,
Oh
man.
man. Oh, okay. All right, let's do it.
Whew.
I couldn't make heads or tails of the story. I got confused.
Well, because
Do
now
you
we're enter.
have a better grasp of it?
You know how we talk about like the levels of madness that Eve Online goes into.
Yes.
This is approaching that,
It's getting there.
and because Titanfall and its servers being hacked, and the Save Titanfall project, and all of this have they've come to a head, and we've gotten to the climax of the story, and answers have been uncovered, and credit to there's a lot of people over on the Reddit that were discussing this, but I want to say Upper Echelon Gamers on YouTube put together a pretty good breakdown on the fucking insanity of the story and the truths that we are now learning. So, to catch you back up very quickly, Titanfall 1's servers became the product of a mass DDoS attack that stopped people from being able to play it for a long time. Eventually, and the malicious messages and shit were put up, and it was very clear you couldn't, no one could play it and such. It eventually started happening to Titanfall 2, and then that was the state for a very long time, yet people were still, there were still people that could buy these games not knowing that the servers were completely fucked. So there's a whole movement to be like, hey, EA, please fix these servers. Respawn, please fix these servers. Like, it's insane. We can't fucking play, and people might be spending their money on literally like a disc that just does nothing on a coaster. Okay, so then all of that led to the story the other week where Apex Legends got hacked and then became unplayable, and there was a message on the boot screen, on the launch screen, that was basically Titanfall is under attack. Go to savetitanfall.com. When you go to savetitanfall.com, there's a detailed description of exactly what I was just telling you about, how both servers, how both games came to be hacked, and how they were continuously under attack, and how people were basically just holding the game, for ransom or whatever, they're hostage, and there's nothing anyone could do about it. So, they also, there's a bunch of, the people that hack Apex point everyone to savetitanfall.com, and then Save Titanfall goes, yeah, we don't have anything to do with that Apex hack. We just, this has been a project that we've wanted people to know about for the longest time. But yeah, but whatever, like the Apex, like whatever that was, we don't know. Then on the Titanfall forums, someone comes out and makes a giant post describing what they can do to fix the problem, and like looking at all the data, looking at everything that was posted. There's a very technical breakdown on exactly how the games are being hacked on savetitanfall.com. And this person kind of comes out with a breakdown of all of that and says, like, here's how we could fix the problem, but like I'm working with some other people that are very talented and such, and I think we can do this, but like we'd need to get cooperation from Respawn in order to make some of this happen, by like working with them personally on their servers and fixing some of these things that I'm proposing here, right?
Right.
So everyone starts pushing this, and this becomes a fairly like it's a light at the end of the tunnel. Everyone, and then this becomes the move. It's like, okay, we can save Titanfall. We can do it. This guy knows what he's talking about. And then someone starts talking to upper echelon gamers who has basically leaks and screenshots and details and info and a whole lot of Discord logs that point to this giant crazy conspiracy where the person who came out as the savior of Titanfall was actually the person who was involved in hacking it in the first place.
Of course they were.
and it was unclear initially as to like whether like how many people there were, and then like what this whole like what the point of all this was. And then the again, just tons and tons of logs got put together, and then eventually the SaveTitanfall.com people also put together a giant like crazy almost 100-page document with logs and shit about like what these backroom discussions were between the people that were hacking and shutting down Titanfall. And it turns out that, and I might be getting a lot of these details wrong, so like check the links I'm going to put in the docket for this, you know, but to the best of my ability to recount this insanely dense story that I kind of got, is there was an initial person who hacked Titanfall 1 and was really obsessed with it and like had grievances or whatever, and then some other people came along and discovered like how and what was going on with that, and then they got together and formed a group of people that basically all had grudges against Titanfall and were looking to keep the game inaccessible and unplayable, and then start this campaign of like telling people to save Titanfall and getting the public on their side. They did an interview with Eurogamer about this as well in order to get some press, and they also would target streamers that were trying to play. They would go to their games and target them with specific messages, so that you'd have these big public moments. And this was all in order to get Respawn to directly work with them to give them control or access to the game's servers, and so that they would have the ability to freely control them. And in their backroom Discord discussions, they talked about how by seizing control of the servers and getting them from Respawn, they could use all of this to basically support their ultimate goal of resurrecting a canceled game called Titanfall Online that was supposed to come out in China that was canceled, and they want to resurrect it with a community-based build of that game with their own mods and their own shit. And so they are trying to shut down the entire Titanfall server base across both games and even Apex if need be, to get to basically create a ransom situation that forces them to take control of Titanfall from Respawn, and then push this resurrection of Titanfall online.
I think my favorite part of this is like it's such an elaborate plan that so much of it was actually going well, but the end goal is, all right, we're gonna take control of the servers, like, oh, because we're helping out, and then we're gonna take all this stuff and we're gonna do it. And like that part of the plan seems to have no details, because it seems to assume that Respawn's gonna go, oh, I guess they took the code. Oh, okay, it's done. Oh well.
It's
like,
complete.
No, they get fucking sued and arrested.
It's complete batshit, and like, I have no idea. I don't understand why the Titanfall Online Resurrection project is such a big deal to them to begin with. I don't know if they're disgruntled people who worked on the original game who are mad that it got canceled.
No. That's not what it is. I'll tell you right now.
But then why do they have access to its like source code and like why do they have so much on
because
this particular?
Crazy.
Because so then they got their hands on the canceled game then, or at least like enough of its source code to like do something that has full community control with it. There were ex-devs, because that's the thing is
devs.
That's the thing is like you're like, I don't know how they would have so much like.
Oh, then they're crazy ex-devs.
I don't. It's so confusing how they would start out with so much power and so like with the fucking TFO build and everything like that to begin with, unless they were given that shit. So it's super weird. But
Just make
yeah,
your own knockoff game.
Yeah, and their whole thing is like there's like the conversations behind the closed doors and shit are all about like fuck this, fuck Titanfall. I don't care if it never works again. We don't care about any of it. If it dies, then then like good. It's all it'll help us bolster support around the TFO community. That we're gonna create. So it sounds like this insane case of revenge for a game that got canceled, and now it bleeds all the way up to Apex.
This isn't Char's counterattack, guys. You're just gonna get sued.
And just like, the idea that like, yeah, you're actually gonna get them to negotiate with terrorists and hand over like the keys to Titanfall 1 entirely, and just not, we're just gonna walk off into the sunset, and that'll be it. It'll be a happy community game that
we did it. We got the source code. We can resurrect it. Hello, officer.
Yeah.
What?
It's wild, and then like the back and forths of like people that are like taking on multiple pseudonyms, and the whole game is not like, it's not just the petty revenge. It's petty revenge, but also we have to manipulate the community into being on our side. So yeah,
just make a knockoff game.
I prefer last week when I thought it was just some idiot who loves clout going, hey, look at me, look how good I am, I can shut the game down.
Just make like a game called Tumble Deities or something.
Like the idea that it was possibly the people who just were mad about the game being canceled coming back sounds like Saturday morning cartoon villain shit.
Oh yeah, this is Cobra Commander putting missile silos in every like Red Rocket burger restaurant.
Isn't this exactly fucking Syndrome and The Incredibles?
Pretty close. Pretty close.
Just, or Arkham Knight, like any of these, like take your pick. Yeah. Literally just The Incredibles again, So, anyway, I don't know how this concludes, but everyone in the community has now been made aware of this entire fraudulent thing, and and they never would have gotten caught. The crazy thing about this too, from all the logs that they have, is that this whole thing never would have happened if they weren't trying to play this community manipulation game. If they weren't trying to like get the people on their side and like accidentally saying things or revealing things and saying things that's like, why would you know this, or like, why would you have, things that just didn't line up. And again, credit to this YouTube channel that did some fucking crazy investigative reporting and digging here, on the truth, because it's a batshit conspiracy.
This type of person that does this stuff tends to be madly in love with the righteous attention they receive. They can't help it. It's like the evil version of when people can't wait to show off their fan game.
Okay.
Right? And it's like, look at my fan game that I made. Everyone's like, you should shut your fucking mouth. But they're like, but I want people to tell me it's cool because it's cool, right? And people are like, it is cool. And then Nintendo goes, it is cool. Die.
Yeah. And then like, or even preemptive indignation. Like, why won't Nintendo buy my game from me? Sometimes you just get these occasional like wacky ass weirdos.
I'm that man. Why won't Nintendo hire me, that man?
Yeah. So, we'll see where this goes, but for now, that plan is obviously fucking scrap, and any community-based Titanfall online resurrections will be shunned and hated by the entire community indefinitely,
Cool.
forever, for all time. So now that your goals are squashed, what happens? Is it still worth it to keep hammering the servers? Do you give up and just fucking put your tail between your legs? What do you do? You know? Spite? Do you just shut down like both games now out of spite?
Yeah. Fuck it. That's what I would do.
It costs money though. But they could. They could.
But if I'm EA in this situation, I'm rich. So you get to have a little bit of spite freebies.
Yeah. Again, I was so convinced that this was just some fucking script kiddies looking for attention and shit, because like, even again, you go to the breakdown of it on SaveTitanfall.com, and it shows you how like they're just like they're having like what was it like N-word bomb or N-word flood, you know, as the name of the code that's like hammering the servers, and just all kinds of shit in the way that it's being hacked that sounds like it's just dumb edgy kids, you know.
Well, hey, guess what? It's dumb edgy adults who want the attention. Like, your age guess was off by about 10 years. But the rest of it, it's like, yeah, no, it's some script kiddies who want some attention.
What I would love to see is the cost of this entire operation, and I'd like to discover at what point between that and the effort put in, it would have been cheaper to just work with that team on a different game featuring robots and pilots that you could have made if you're that talented.
No, but it's gotta be the thing. Like, okay, this is off topic. This is I'm going on a tangent here. I love characters, and I like to have a story continue, right? But like most of the time, and I mean 99% of the time, those aren't the most important things, particularly in a game. It's the style and it's what you're actually doing. So let's take Bloodstained, for example. I'm sad that Dracula isn't there, but Bloodstained's a fucking Castlevania game, and it's a pretty good one. It's not the end of the world that Dracula can't be there.
Mm-hmm.
You could easily make a Titanfall-ish game that has ogres that fall down, that ogre strike.
Sure,
And,
whatever.
Drop your ogres. Your ogres coming in hot with your whatever. Like, it's
and being a hacker that knows how to DDoS a game server doesn't make you a developer. But being an ex-developer of a Titanfall game makes you a developer.
Yeah.
So as far as the capabilities are concerned, you know, I feel like if this is who these people are, then more than any other just hackers, they might be capable of doing it.
It's